Hey Ravi, good
Hi.
morning.
Hi, Hari. Thanks for joining.
We have been discussing this topic and working together for some time now. Excited to share what we have been discussing and also talking to the audience and customers on where we see the exciting opportunity ahead in this whole wave of new technology changes. But we can start with a quick intro about our journey. There are some very interesting scenarios and insights you have been looking into the business. To go over that and maybe show a quick demo and see how we can work together with some of our partners.
Giant
So
customers, of course.
for the members, as a quick introduction, I have been working with Ravi for a long time. We used to work at Microsoft, started our journey, worked in the Azure team, building out the core platform capabilities. And both of us worked on to our own startup journeys. Throughout the process, we have been working very closely with ecosystem of Azure customers, partners, product teams who are there. Before starting my current startup, I was at Microsoft, leading the OpenAI effort at Microsoft, helping ship the first version of Copilot. We are continuing the journey of seeing how AI innovations and agents are going to help business. I have been working with Ravi on interesting scenarios across agents and Azure.
My name is Ravi, CEO and founder of CloudAssert. We started building the early stages of Microsoft Cloud Services. I came out in 2014 and started CloudAssert and started helping a lot of Microsoft partners, CSPs and MSPs modernize or cloudify the data center. We built a sophisticated ERP system called Hybr that helps customers across the globe for MSPs and CSP scenarios. And what Dhisana and Hari brings to the table is very relevant for all our customers. I'm super excited about this scenario for our customers and their end customers, Hari.
Yeah.
Let's proceed with the next.
One of the main things I know we have been discussing quite a bit is you have seen the first hand struggle of some of these businesses which are low margin, trying to scale and keeping up with technology. Would love to hear about what you have seen in the industry. Where are the struggles where you see the CSPs, MSPs scale their business?
Sure. We have been working with MSPs and CSPs. CSPs are Microsoft partners who resell Microsoft cloud products along with providing services to end customers and businesses, right? Over this last decade, we have seen MSP and CSP businesses going through various phases and whatnot. But there are constant challenges, especially when you are selling multiple vendors, multi cloud softwares to the customers. There is always a catch up needed by the sellers, the account managers, because if not every month, every week, there are new services and software from Microsoft, Amazon, or Google. It's really hard. When I was talking to a customer a few weeks back, keeping up with Microsoft updates is a big challenge. Most of the times they're unable to do. And because of that, the sellers, the account managers, the first line people who talk to these customers, they do not know, they're not aware of what are those new services that they could potentially offer to their customers. They are in a blind spot. And many of these MSP, CSP businesses still today, how they operate is they stitch together 10 different tools. There is a HubSpot CRM, there is a Zoho Desk or Zendesk. There are like 10 different tools. Some of them, it's interesting when I meet these people in the conferences, some of them are very proud. They say, Ravi, I have connected this to that. And by the time I got the list, there were like 10 different tools. It's all good in terms of a personal satisfaction. But for the business, when stitch even two, three tools, you're going to miss context, right?
Yes.
Same thing if you are having 10 different teams, you pass on the requirement to 10 different teams. And there is a famous game, right? A team game. So you lose the context in every occasion that you pass on. And more than that, you lose time. Many times, these people spend time taking care of the stitching, right? It is not reliable. Data doesn't come from one place to the other place. It's not very seamless. Too many disconnected tools invariably lead to lost opportunities. Their opportunities are not even identified. It's almost humanly impossible to connect all these dots and find out, yes, for this customer, I should be promoting this offer. So, lost opportunities. And because if you are putting people to these problems, your margin is going to thin out more. So, either you cut short and not do these things, or You do the right thing with more people, that is more costly. The challenges like low margins, high manual effort, and lost opportunities, keeping yourself updated. How can we solve this, Hari?
What you're mentioning is very true. I will go over and deep dive when seeing from other teams and sellers. It's not that people don't want to solve this. The technology was not at a place where either you invest more people to scale and that's costlier, or you need to stay in this manual mode, stitching together and running operations, not preferred. This talk is very interesting in terms of how can you reimagine your business in the new era, which wouldn't have been feasible maybe a couple of years back, and how people can look at businesses and partner with Hybr or Dhisana basically to see if they can scale their business without scaling up costs.
Presenting a unified system where our customers don't have to go and manually connect systems, where we are able to present it as a unified, that's the power. Having this first party collaboration between Hybr and Dhisana, this is going to result in the most robust, reliable system for MSP and CSP customers. We bring in years of experience doing CSP and MSPs. We have billing, provisioning, a self-service, domain-specific portal for CSP businesses, admins, and end users as a self-service. With Dhisana, you bring an intelligent hive mind solution, which is going to help 10x the productivity, 10x the growth. That's what we are looking for with this unified system.
We are able to bring in the deep domain knowledge of what you have been working with more than a decade now with your MSPs and new age technologies. We can help with GTM. I think it's going to be super powerful. So, briefly getting into what we do at Dhisana to set the context. What we are building is an autonomous sales engine, a growth engine for organizations. As we were discussing, how do you scale your business without having to invest a ton in hiring your headcounts, right? How do you make your team itself 10x more productive and scale your revenue pipeline is one of the key things that we have been looking at. If you see the traditional bow-tie model of both or the pipelines that was there, your challenge across acquisition and expansion, there are so many manual processes and bottlenecks basically, right? And the selling doesn't stop as soon as you get your first check. It begins there, especially in this business where you have long-standing relationships, renewals going on, you're expanding. You need to make sure your customer is satisfied, and then you go up for upsell, cross-sell, or renewal businesses. Basically, it's a continuous cycle, and it's very manual as of now across the pipeline, where people are doing a lot of these activities manually. What I was showing was that you will see a lot of times people doing a lot of manual work that is going on, and how do we now look at bringing in all the context together in some ways, right? If you look at to close any deal, you will need the complete context about the customer, right? What is billing, is tickets, what's happening with the lead, the account. You need all of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
together.
context is the king when it comes to agentic and AI. We were looking at the post from Salesforce CTO, CEO, whom we both know. You mentioned that context is a must-have for the agentic
Yeah.
thing, right?
Workflow, right? So across our systems where you see both Microsoft, Salesforce, etc., right? If you see the systems evolve, you'll see that once you bring in the right kind of information, it has to be the most relevant information. It's not throwing everything at an agent and say, go figure it out, basically, right? It has to be relevant. It should be able to get those right information at right time. Once you have the context, the second one are signals, right? When working with the customer, there could be a new office they are opening up. There's a new job posting that's coming up, basically, right? So there are signals which help you go and talk to them at the right time, saying that here is a new service that can help grow your business, right? So how do you bring in that signals? The next one is CSPs, MSPs have deep down expertise on the cloud side. How does Azure operate? What's a VCDR? How do you secure the services? But they have a deep understanding of their customer, be it retail, education, or tech, right? They are at this intersection where their expertise spans technology and domain. The last thing they also have is relationships that they have built up over their customers over period of time, basically, right? So a deal needs for this to be successful. And the way people used to do this previously used to be manual operations, right? Everything from research to signals, identifying opportunities. You have people looking at everything from CRM to LinkedIn to their billing information, tickets to figure out what's happening. 70% of the time is not spent on actually growing your business or serving customer. It's all clicking on tools and figuring out what's happening. That is where this new age technology of what is called as agents or autonomous agents.
We started utilizing this for our own sales automation. If it is useful to us, This is going to be a tremendously useful scenario for our hyper customers as well, doing the same steps, researching and finding leads. What are the businesses they can target? The entire lead funnel, nurturing them, looking for signals like buying signals and whatnot. It has been powerful for us, for CloudAssert and Hybr. That's how we thought this will be a great thing for our end customers as well.
We are seeing this technology trend. Traditionally, systems used to be rigid rule-based workflows or system of records. We have started seeing the technology, especially with these large language models. They're able to reason like humans. They're able to think. They're able to take actions on behalf of humans.
That's a good point, Hari, because even now, when people think about the agent or agentic workflows, maybe it's because of that workflow connotation. We still think it is just executing series of steps. But what you're saying is, no, it's not just a bot executing steps. It is much more. Can you elaborate on that layman terms?
Important to get that. So when we were early, if you remember in our stages with service bus and workflow, it's not that workflows were not there. You could drag drop into a low code designer and say, go fetch a record from a CRM, update properties. The moment your business requirement changes, that workflow is broken. It was not a reasoning machine. It was a rule-based machine. Go do 1, 2, 3, 4, basically. Then
Right.
when I started with OpenAI and Copilot 2018, 19, right, very initial versions basically, it was a tech that could help you generate interesting fragment of code or interesting fragment of text basically. Right? Again, it was not a model for reasoning, but you can say, okay, generate an image for me, generate some text. Slowly, these models now, when you actually give them some set of information and say, tell this, is this an interesting opportunity for me?
Basically, I don't have to give a set of rules. I just give a overall instruction,
Yes.
and your agents can interpret that, change the rules, and come up with rules like a human, right?
Yeah.
We are not just tracking drop certain boxes. We are basically just giving high level instructions and certain pathways, and then your agent goes and thinks and does the research and builds the context and then writes its own rules to satisfy the instruction that I gave.
So the thing is, these agents look at them as goal-oriented, right? It's like an agent which is helping you sell, which is maybe an BDR or an SDR or an account executive, right? So how do humans operate? They have a goal. I need to go sell this product. I have a target, right?
Right.
Create a plan, then execute. All the CRMs are tools to help. Look at agents as this goal-oriented set of systems which can come up with, okay, to achieve this goal, it's still in an early stage. Like it's at a place where it's your best seller, but you can help your best seller become 10x now. There are targeted these agents which can start doing, but they're evolving at a very rapid pace, right?
Rapid space.
Years from now,
That's a very good tagline. Help your best seller become 10x productive.
10x product.
That's enough. You can keep that as a motto for this slide.
Filling exactly, right?
The challenges facing MSPs, sellers, and the account managers connect updates from different vendors. Microsoft releases at least 10 updates every week, if not every month. So it is really impossible for even your best seller to keep track of all of this and connect this a signal coming from one of your important account. Maybe they are looking for multi-cloud deployment, but only know you as an Azure reseller. They didn't know you also provide AWS or GCP services. If your seller doesn't know that your company is now ventured into AWS and GCP reselling as well, if these dots doesn't connect at the right time, then we are missing that
Opportunity. So very true. I've seen that first and I used to be in an organization in Azure, which will help sell to very large customers. I used to be sitting from the product side in a meeting. Customer will, for example, ask here the Kubernetes, I want to use an Azure file system, some XYZ capability. Do they have this? This seller who is there or the solution architect has expertise in Kubernetes, but doesn't know as much about what happens at AFS. He'll say, I get back, right? It's a 3 months gone and an opportunity that could have been a pretty large deal ends up getting procrastinated. Humanly, there's only so much I can keep in my mind and map. That can get solved with autonomous agents and workflows, which is a very exciting opportunity for businesses and how you can help scale your people.
This is not just a rule-based bot type of thing. This has ability to understand the context, come up with various. This is a great example of connecting different dots. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, like we have been discussing about this hive mind kind of thing, basically, right? Like you individually, people work in silos in email and CRM and you have some context. Even if you are able to bring in all this information into a single setup where all the data that is required is getting pulled in at one place, it is able to now identify opportunities, engage customers, basically. Right? How do you build those systems where there is a unified system of intelligence. The next thing is, as we were discussing, there's a human seller. What if I can equip them with 10 supporting actors over there? Everybody is helping you prospect a lead, to write content, who's an executive assistant who is helping set up follow-ups for a meeting, somebody who's helping you prepare for the meeting. So you have one star player. There are these agents who are supporting him do that much, much better.
I think in today, probably this one star player is doing all of this without help.
Yes.
But if you give that help, how much more productive they could be.
Imagine you have your blessed batsman or quarterback, right? Now we are asking him to go and spend time doing some filling,
A
some
line
form,
back or yeah,
and
whatever.
then
Yeah.
we have to do something which is very
Interesting.
random, right? It's not the best utilization of your time. So that way you can help them by supporting the agents. Here, maybe a quick demo, right? Like in Dhisana, what we do is you have a way where the system is continuously looking at leads, pulling, as I said, the high mind system of intelligence, getting everything at one place together, putting in whatever is required for a seller to get ready, and helping build a bunch of these agents, pulling in context from Hybr and every other place, basically, right? For different aspects, as you said, making your seller 10x is what we are building, right? So we'll have some follow-ups where we'll go over in detail, but we already have this system which we are building, looking at future sales organizations. How do they operate? We want to be the platform for
Hybr integration, we have two-way sync between Dhisana and Hybr. From Hybr, you can trigger campaigns, sync Hybr accounts, companies, users as leads and vice versa, and automatically onboard. If Dhisana has identified a potential and you want to offer them a trial, automatically onboard them to Hybr and send emails. So that's the level of integration and automation we are. Leads to a brief introduction about Hybr. We built Hybr with Microsoft CSP partners, global MSPs in mind, a unified platform where all business and customer lifecycle is handled from onboarding, pricing profiles, rate cards, integrating with customers' ERP systems to send the bill or invoice. And you can also connect with payment gateways to do the dunning or payment collection. And a lot of automation built in, customize it to nth level. We support N level resellers, probably the only platform that does N level resellers, each able to mark up or discount pricing. We have the first company tool to support usage based billing since 2014, 2015. We take real pride in that.
you have so many enterprise customers, and it's been more than a decade where you have been working, and they
Yep.
have been using it in an enterprise complaint way. And
Yes. So we have two sets of customers, service providers and CSPs, as well as enterprise customers. Enterprise customers use Hybr for data center automation, cloudifying their data center, cost management. Service providers use it as a marketplace storefront. They also have a Hybr portal for their end users self-service. One of our customers, we even have a testimonial from him. They saved 3 full days of work by deploying Hybr every month. So every month he gets 3 days back by having Hybr do the automation and self-service for their business. It's a powerful platform. Now we are going to make it even more self-reliant and intelligent by bringing in Dhisana. Go ahead, Hari, if you want to.
the thing that I was saying basically, right? Already your automations was helping people so much. I'm super curious also. We go over some of those scenarios and how much more, why 3 days? Why couldn't it be more? We can now
Right.
start being greedy in terms of automation. As you're saying, an all-in-one growth platform can bring these systems together. And some of the demos will show, will highlight.
Yeah, I was telling you, it's my passion. One part that has been missing with Hybr is the prospecting, marketing, continuous nurturing. Even before I knew about that you are building Dhisana, I was doing some work on how can I enable MSPs and CSPs who are using Hybr constantly nurture, use every opportunity. Maybe you got a ticket about certain license assignment, but how can you use that as an opportunity to upsell, cross sell, right? Because businesses use Hybr to bring in multiple services, not just Microsoft CSP. They do have their own data centers. So they sell their infrastructure as a service using Hybr as a platform. How do you enable constant upselling and nurturing opportunity? So that's where Dhisana comes into play now to address that gap. This sounds like you're asking that you never stop selling, right? That is the motto here. As a CSP business, MSP business, even any software as a service, you never stop selling, basically.
Every opportunity that is there for you, you help customer solve something, it is out a ticket, there's some new tech change, everything could be a potential opportunity for selling, right? How do you always be in that mode? How you enable that for you is something that we are going to be looking
Does
at.
this mean my customers are going to keep getting emails every hour or what?
The goal is not to build a spam bot, basically, right? This is about helping you identify opportunities, build relationships with those people, nurture them. Sale will happen automatically.
Basically, you never stop selling. What we mean by that is you never stop nurturing, you never stop helping the customer, right? Many times, once the sales teams bring the customer to the onboarding team, they go behind the next set of leads. The onboarding team takes care of support and operations. After 3 months, the sales seller comes and say, "Hey, I have a customer. Can we do something?" But by this time, many things have changed in the customer's business, which if you are not looking for the signals, you will miss. So similarly, what opportunities did typically a CSP business miss? These are very practical things that I see working with CSPs over the period, right? For example, current example, in this update from Microsoft, there is the whole update has 2-3 pages worth of critical updates. Hidden among this is one opportunity, which is Microsoft is offering 20% discount for Microsoft E3 Office 365 product, and that ends by December 2025. If your seller is aware of it and you have a signal from certain customers, now this becomes an opportunity. But how do we turn this as an opportunity?
Like we were discussing, Ravis, you send so much rich information to your customers every time, saying that, hey, this is what is an opportunity for you. Microsoft is giving this discount. And like, what does it matter for my customers? Is hard to map. So that's where what we do in our system is bring in the information that you have. We have the information about customer and what you're selling to, right? We identify an opportunity for your leads, have a email composed and ready for you to send to your customer. You have everything ready with the information. As soon as they come up with the dashboard, they'll say, here are opportunities, send this email.
What you're saying is Dhisana was able to automatically look for updates in winningscsp.com and found that opportunity. It has the context from Hybr that a customer is using Microsoft products and created an email to the customer.
You can send it automatically also, but a lot of times you might want to review them before sending. So it will put it in a place where there is a human in the loop approval, basically.
The seller looks at new opportunities that are bubbled up. We are working on this within the Hybr portal. Just click enable Dhisana in Hybr, and Dhisana will start doing these things in the background, identify these opportunities automatically because now Hybr has given it the context of what the customers are using, which services they are consuming, right? Now,
Yes.
Dhisana is able to put all this together and then bubble up these opportunities, and we will show this in Hybr, or you can come to Dhisana directly and then see this opportunity. It already created a email campaign for those customers. As a seller, all you have to do is review that. If it makes sense, click send. You come across as an intelligent, connected, updated seller to the customers and your team.
Yes, exactly right. Think there is so much information there, right? Microsoft is giving some discount ending at some point of time. Your customers are also using E3 licenses and already they are in a place where they're ready to renew. Bringing in all that information and telling you what you need to tell to them would have already taken hours to identify. You might have missed it. No, it's
To
ready.
filter the list and find out which customers should be catering to this email. But then most of the times, what happens, I see, we just blast out a common email, one single formatted email to all the customers. We don't
Yeah.
want to be looked at as, hey, you didn't send me anything, right? So we can always claim, hey, I sent you that
I
last
sent you
month.
newsletter. Yes.
I sent you the newsletter last month. So that's
Yes.
what is happening today. But how we are going to change that is you're not going to send a common email to everybody.
All the
Pick the customer. That is where this hive mind, this agent comes into play. I did not even tell about the specific things to look for. It itself connected
the
the
dot.
Microsoft update. It connected from the Hybr what customer is using, and then it found a discount in this update. I could connect these two and convert this to an opportunity, and it created that opportunity and the email. So that is going to be a powerful message instead of just sending a generic
Email. You are doing it every month,
every
right?
month. Can I control how many emails or how many messages that goes out?
Yeah, all those things are controlled. The things that we have agents that are completely trainable, right? Like even for each customer you're sending, you will
Okay.
have your own guardrail, policies, voice, tone, what you want to do basically, right? So you can train this agent every month. There's an update coming. We have out of the box templates, but you can train them. All these are customizable, trainable agents for your business. Email sending is just the first step, right? Once you test it out, you can also say how it should respond to customer queries. He says, hey, I'm interested, let's talk. Or what's the pricing? Like, how much am I going to save? You can create playbooks where it is doing multi-turn conversation with the customer and then getting it to a place where they're interested in taking a meeting with you, basically. So all the way from
So
testing.
can it also set up the meeting automatically by talking to the customers and then nurturing them and then set up a meeting?
Yes, it could go ahead and all the way find a free slot, talk to them, and get you to a stage where you're ready for a meeting. Look at the amount of time we have saved.
It's fantastic because to come up with that good email, somebody has to write it, send the email, and if the customer responds, then you respond back, and then somebody has to find a free slot. So you all this various steps in that process, the agent automatically takes care of it.
Yes. And it is not just about using AI, right? Like when people nowadays say they are using AI, imagine you are copy pasting all this information into ChatGPT and say, give me a
Right.
email. You're still
Right.
doing it manually. Just having
Right.
ChatGPT is not making it autonomous or AI,
Correct.
basically, right? So a lot of tools are still where you're doing all this manual work, except that it is summarizing that into a thing, right? Here, when you say autonomous, it's really
ChatGPT makes us look smarter for a time.
right.
But
Yes.
then, as a seller, my boss asks, how many deals did you close? That's the outcome. Right? Using ChatGPT and coming up with a smart looking email is just fun and good to have. But then
And you do
it
it
doesn't
one time,
stop.
right? When you do it 1,000 times every month for 1,000 emails, if you keep doing
Yeah.
that, then your whole day is gone.
Not only that, there is 10 additional steps before I can close the deal. If I can have a team of agents who can help me with that, I can instruct these 10 different agents, treat them as team members, and then tell each one, you do this, and then I can be the kind of expert who is able to get things done with the team.
The interesting transition, as you said, is getting to a meeting is one part. Once you have a meeting, the second thing I remember, you had a very interesting anecdote. Are you ready for the meeting? You said, hey, connect. And suddenly, without any preparation, you landed into the meeting. Maybe you can go over that scenario.
Yeah, yeah. How many times any of us, especially in MSP business and even for us, software business, we go when the renewal time comes, obviously everybody pays attention. You talk to the customer, set up a meeting, say, hey, how are you doing? You know why you are there. It's renewal time. The first thing the customer asked one of our sales team is, hey, do you know there are 3 pending tickets for the last 2 months? We have been following up. This guy was scratching his head. In an alternate universe, if he said before he even talked about any of this, if he went there and told them, I just want to check with you, you have 2 open tickets and our team is working, I'm going to put pressure on them. Do you still have that problem? Did you get a workaround? How can I help you? If that salesperson goes there with that context in mind, then that would have been a different conversation. The customer would have still been a little pissed off about the open tickets, but at least he knows you came with that context. How can Dhisana help there as well, Hari?
So what we have seen across sellers, right? Like they're hopping between meetings. If you're going only with the motivation to sell and you haven't even understood what's happening with your customer, it's a huge risk, basically, right? So here, what we do is we bring in your information about whom are you going to talk to, what are you going to talk about, but not just that, basically, right? We have this whole system, as I said, which keeps pulling in data from your Hybr, your transactions, your PSAs, your tickets, actually that are there, right? So it has all of them auto-generated and ready for you. Imagine if you could have a complete meeting preparation document ready for you and everything in that, including the tickets, talking points, red flags, and objections that are going to come up. Basically, you need to be prepared for what to pitch. If a customer asks what happened to the tickets, you have everything ready in your hand. So
Right.
before meeting, also you're prepared. As a part of the meeting, if something quickly comes up, you can check with the system and say, okay, here is coming up, what's happening there. So you're not off guard or thrown off with the curveball that customer comes up with. You are prepared, you empathize, you know what's happening. Maybe do a proactive follow up also. Agents can do that, help get all the data ready for you and make sure that tickets are getting priority, right?
Yeah, you want to come across as a kind of smart person or a person who has done their due diligence, not just hop onto a meeting. Dhisana can help prepare any of us to come across as a person who has done their background, who did the homework, and then came to the meeting. So that's fantastic.
One of our mentors was there, right? Like the main thing you were saying was, as a seller, what we need is empathy for your customers. It's not about a transactional process where you sell, get some money, and come back. You are able to empathize where their pain points are, why their business is getting impacted because of these downtimes and tickets. So all that, the deal will happen automatically. These systems can help you achieve that, give a much better customer service, transparency, and help them. That indirectly helps you close deals and grow your business. rather than looking at renewal period.
Very true.
You got a meeting, you prepared for the meeting. The customer said, okay, let's go ahead. The next thing you need to give her the handout, all good. But when you want to expand the deal, there is lot more happens over there, especially in a complicated tech stack. So again, coming back to some very interesting scenario that you are describing recently about contract renewal with government cloud.
Customers come to you with their business needs. You may be a seller, you may be a account manager, whomever the customer has a relationship to. Most of the times is the selling sales people who establish that relationship, not the technical people. The customer reaches out. It happened in real life, and that project is going on. So I'll explain about that. So this customer has been using Microsoft Office 365 with the public cloud and landed a large government contract. To satisfy the requirements, they have to be compliant with that government contractual requirements. Let us say that the customer sent an email to the account manager, who's a seller, not very technical. They sent an email asking, hey, we have this government thing going on. Do you have any experience with government and compliance? We want our systems to be upgraded to satisfy those compliance. The first thing that the seller, if they have worked in a similar government situations, the first thing they're going to say is government. No, I have worked with education, I have worked with retail, manufacturing. No, government, we don't have any experience. That's the email response the seller might do. Then say, I can go check with my boss or other teams.
And get back.
Typical first response. Nevertheless, there is a Microsoft SKU for Gov Cloud. If the seller or the account manager knew about it, his response could have been more intelligent. He doesn't need to know a lot, but he could have said, oh, that's fantastic. We are glad that you have this contract. We have government SKUs for similar situations. Microsoft has a Gov Cloud support for this. If you like, I can put together a migration plan for you. Here is the attached sample migration plan. Imagine if the seller sent this response versus the other response, right? This is where you convert a simple query into an opportunity likely to convert to a deal.
A brief demo that I was showing exactly as Ravi is, it triggers with a simple customer query. Using 365, can you tell me we are going to land a government contract? What is it there, right? So typically in the older age, what you do is now you go talk to your solution architect team who are there. It's weeks have passed even before you can give a coherent response to the customer and what clarifying questions you need to ask and how do you set it up. Post that, imagine if you want to give a very quick high level plan on how do you migrate, what are the requirements basically, right? What the timelines that you're looking for. To prepare a document like this, which is a migration guide for you, not just your sellers, even technical teams supporting them, TSPs, are already stretched thin. For each customer query to involve them to get this running, it was going to be costly. You upload your knowledge base, you upload how your system operates, you bring in whatever knowledge your TSPs have. They have already worked with such projects before. You bring in all of them. That history and context is there. So generating this first draft of what you need to reach out and ask instead of taking weeks, it's so much more faster. The only thing that you need to do is review and share it with the customer. When you look so responsive, customer thinks, yes, you know what you're doing. You know the business basically, rather than saying, I'll
It builds the credibility. You'd be like, oh, you are the guy I am looking for.
yes,
Rather
exactly.
than if you send that, oh, I don't, I'm going to ask my boss or ask my team, then he was looking, oh, are you the right person?
Do I trust you? Gone silent for months. They lose the trust. They'll go take the contract to somebody else who can respond faster. So agility is going to be the key for any business, especially in the age. You don't do it, somebody else is going to do it for them. It's a high risk concern. If you don't reimagine your business, 3 years from now, you'll be out of business.
Every employer expects more from their employees nowadays, and it's the same. Every business is going to expect more from any vendor or service provider. If you go and say that, "Oh, no, I need 2 weeks to do this, that," no, they can get this in ChatGPT in an hour, in 5 minutes. So the reason they are coming to you is you can take care of this whole thing. They don't want this to be their headache. They want you to take care of it. But if you feel like it's a headache, it's not helpful. The expectations are high. And if you do not leverage this agentic era, it will be really hard because your competitors are going to do it. They are going to outrun you. So we better be prepared. And that's our motto for our partners and customers. We want to enable you to be the first to take advantage of this.
As we start, we are we have extremely good working relationship with a huge ecosystem of partners and Azure. We would
Right.
love for each one of them to be successful. It's feasible. You just be proactive and take the first step. Next question. We have always been resellers with margins trying to sell some software or vendor basically. It's a good business, but there's a huge opportunity where you don't have to be just a reseller of a software, right? You can be the enabler for your customers' business as they look at Agentic Era. So can you share some of your roadmap and thoughts around that?
Sure. Most MSPs and CSPs don't offer one service or software. They bring a marketplace of services and software together for their end customers. But often these are all third party software, Microsoft, Azure, or whatnot. What I have seen working with the industry for so long, every single MSP has created so much domain knowledge about their customers' problems because they are the extended IT team, service provider of those businesses. They have tremendous amount of experience and knowledge built around those business, how those businesses operate, what are their challenges. We were thinking how the MSP businesses not only sell other software and services, but make their experience a sellable thing as a marketplace item. Make it as a software you can offer to your end customers. Imagine we can show this demo. This is the Hybr marketplace where we have created probably 15-20 different agents that can be published to Hybr marketplace, created in Dhisana, published to Hybr marketplace, and the experience and domain knowledge of the CSP and MSP expertise, you can distill them into these intelligent workflows and offer them as a marketplace item. Imagine, for example, one of our customers, they cater to education edtech industry, right? So they work with large institutions like universities. So they know what are business scenarios could enable their end businesses to use an agent or automated workflow. Create an agent, publish it in the marketplace, and fine tune it for a specific customer. Marketplace items can be for a specific customer or domain. You distill that, publish your own agents. This is not an agent pre existing. Dhisana enables you to create any agentic workflow, publish it as a marketplace item. Now, not only you are selling Microsoft Copilot or other agent systems, now you have your own agents to sell and make additional revenue. That additional opportunity is the key here, Hari.
Yes. So there's a very interesting trend happening in the industry now. The era used to be of what was called software as a service. Now the whole thing is flipping around. They're calling it as service as a software is where people are going to be paying you, basically. You can no more say, here's the tool called CRM, you use it and do something. People are saying, I'm giving you an agent which will help you do sales, right? Now you are helping a person get a service. Software is just a tool to enable that. You know the domain, how to operate, provide a service and run it at scale, which wouldn't have been feasible before. And that opens up a huge opportunity for you to grow your revenue by building and selling your own service as agents rather than selling software as a service for small margins, basically, right? And look at it. Imagine if somebody is able to, your customer is come able to actually look at a compliance agent or a real estate domain agent which works for them and save $X,000 basically, which translates into a much higher margin and scale for you, helping their top line and the scale. You can charge much higher values, compelling workflows that only you can do because you understand the domain technology. We as a platform can help enable you do that. Everything else around your infrastructure, you don't have to be an AI expert to do that. Come to us,
Yeah.
partner. You bring your domain, we help with everything else on the infra. We would love to see you never stop selling, never stop growing. We have limited time partners whom we are going to start onboarding across Hybr, where we'll pick very select CSPs who are forward looking, who want to reimagine the future. Work with us. We have a 100K plus worth of cost to build these systems and agents, deploy and grow your business. If you want to work with us, contact us. Apply before
Yeah,
December.
yeah. You don't come cheap.
Yeah.
Can our customers get direct access to you, Hari, and your co-founders?
But
That's
me
what you
and my
say.
team, basically, right? We come with Hyper also, right? Like we have
Right. Yeah, of
deep
course. Yeah.
experts, so we will help you be successful, front runner in this whole space. If you're interested, contact us. We are looking for 3 key partners before the first quarter. We will enable them and share success stories with customers. This was a high level talk on where things are headed in the industry. Earlier, Very excited about the whole industry. Cloud, we started our journey when Azure was in the early stages. We saw it grow and it created much prosperity for a huge ecosystem of people who are working on it. At least our belief is this wave of changes happening with AI is going to create a much bigger opportunity for the whole ecosystem of partners and builders compared to cloud. Excited to work with the ecosystem and the business.
Thanks again, Hari. So I hope our giant customers and whomever is watching this live as offline understand how powerful when we bring a really intelligent automation platform like Dhisana with the context of Hybr, vertical domain experience. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to make use of this and take it to the market very soon. We are looking for partners with MSP and CSP domain expertise to onboard at least three CSPs and MSPs handhold you do automation, GTM workflows, sales workflows, Hybr helping run workflows, the intelligent agents in the backend. Publish at least 5 to 10 agents that you can offer to your end customers. So that is even more powerful. You are now creating a new value, new channel for your end customer. You are no longer just a reseller, you're no longer just a service provider. Now you are partner of the businesses when they think about agentic AI. So that's what we want to take you to. And we offer that. And we are going to help you be successful in that era. Me and Hari, we are committed for that. And we have teams standing by. So please say yes, reach out to us in the email or in the chat. Then we will get back to you and start the pilot December 1st, 2025. You have a limited time to apply. Contact us and we'll start working on the pilot. By January, we want you offering agents to your end customers. You leverage Dhisana and Hybr to automate and 10x your sales and revenue. Again, thanks, Hari, a lot.
Thanks, Ravi.
I think we are on the top of the hour.
Time to end the conversation. I think we have an exciting journey ahead. And thanks again for taking time.
Thanks, everyone, for joining, listening. Thank you. Take care.